As we covered last Friday on Washington Watch, the Supreme Court issued a historic decision protecting both freedom of speech and religious liberty last week in 303 Creative versus LNS, which said a Christian web designer is not compelled to create websites celebrating same-sex marriages. Since then, the left has had some interesting things to say about the case, including this statement from Transportation Secretary Pete Buttigieg.
I think it's very revealing that there's no evidence that this web designer was ever even approached by anyone asking for a website for a same-sex wedding. Matter of fact, it appears this web designer only went into the wedding business for the purpose of provoking a case like this.
Echoing the same narrative, the website Colorado Newsline, the state from which this case originated, ran a story with the headline, "A Fake Case with Real Consequences." Is this, in fact, a fake case? Joining me now to tell us is Jonathan Scruggs. He's the senior counsel and vice president of litigation strategy at the Alliance Defending Freedom, which brought this case on behalf of 303 Creative. Jonathan, welcome back to Washington Watch.
Yeah, thanks so much for having me back.
Well, let's get to the bottom line. Is this a fake case or not?
This case is real, our client is real, and thankfully the Supreme Court decision is real. And it just protected countless of Americans from the government compelling them to say something they don't believe. And that's the bottom line. And it's a great day for the First Amendment. It's a great day for free speech. And no matter how hard people try to undermine it, undermine the legitimacy of this case, undermine the legitimacy of our court system, the facts are the facts. And the facts are that Lori Smith wanted to go, is in business, wants to go and create speech that's consistent with her beliefs. And the state of Colorado said they would punish her for doing so. So you can't get more real than what we presented and what has happened.
Jonathan, why do you think there has been this attempt to claim that this was basically fraud? It was all made up. This wasn't even a controversy. Where is that coming from?
It's really all baseless. It's coming from the fact that Lori, our client, Lori Smith, who owns 303 Creative, received a request through her intake form from someone who said they were Mike and Stuart, and they wanted a wedding website to celebrate their same-sex wedding. It turns out we don't know. Lori couldn't reach out to this person and verify that what they were saying is true, because if she did so, she would violate the law. That's the whole purpose of this lawsuit, is to gain clarity before she would have to violate the law. But like I said, Lori's been in business for numerous years. It's undisputed that she wanted to expand her business into wedding websites, and that Colorado said again and again in court that if she did so, she would violate the law. And let's not remember that Colorado has been applying this law to other people like Lori Smith, including Jack Phillips of Masterpiece Cake Shop. So there's really no debate here about what the law means and what Colorado wanted to do, and that whether Lori has a First Amendment right to do it.
Well, not only are critics claiming that this is a fake case, the New York Times ran a piece claiming in the title that the Supreme Court has opened the door to discrimination. In addition, Pete Buttigieg, who we heard from at the beginning of the segment, he said that the case is designed to chip away at rights. Let's play clip 5.
I think what's really revealing is that there's no evidence that this web designer was ever even approached by a same-sex couple looking for services to support their wedding. So you're seeing more and more of these cases and these circumstances that are designed to get people spun up and designed to chip away at rights.
Jonathan Scruggs, what's your response to the idea that this case is designed actually to chip away at people's fundamental rights?
That's absolutely false. The case and the Supreme Court decision were clear that this protects the rights of all Americans to speak consistent with their beliefs. The ruling did not in any way imperil these laws and does not prevent these laws from being applied to protect people's access to goods and services. It just means the government can't force someone to say something that violates their core convictions. And that protects not only Lori Smith, our client, it protects the LGBT web designer, it protects the atheist, it protects the Muslim, it protects the Jewish artist, it protects all of us. And that is great news. So this misinformation campaign that's going on is really an effort to blur what the court actually said. Just go and read the court's opinion and see for yourself. And what the court said clearly again and again is that free speech is our fundamental right. It's an inalienable right of all Americans. And that's what the Supreme Court decision stood up and protected.
I think you're correct that there has been within the media sphere an attempt to misrepresent the facts, but it's not just in the media. If you read Justice Sotomayor's dissent, she seems to badly misrepresent the actual facts of this case. Why do you think it is hard for some on the left to just accurately talk about what happened and what this case allows and what it doesn't allow?
Well, I think the other side has just been really drinking their own Kool-Aid and taking their own narrative, and they refuse to see the actual facts. I think Justice Gorsuch's majority opinion was key on that in response and said, hey, why don't you actually look at the stipulated facts, the facts that Colorado agreed with, the facts that the court laid out, that Lori serves all people. What is shocking in this case is not the facts, but the fact that Colorado agreed that Lori does not discriminate, that she serves all people, yet was still trying to go after her and trying to compel her speech. That should be shocking, I think, to all of us, that Colorado's legal theory would enable the government not just to compel Lori, but as I noted, to compel Americans to say almost anything they disagree with. Again, that goes to the Muslim, the Jewish artist, the LGBT web designer. It's bad news when the government has this power. And we are just so thankful for the U.S. Supreme Court standing up and saying the government doesn't have this power, and Colorado is wrong to threaten to enforce its law against Lori.
Jonathan Scruggs, Alliance Defending Freedom, thanks for your time and your advocacy on behalf of the First Amendment. Appreciate it very much.
Thank you.